We are on fourth chapter, and I, whenever I jump from one chapter to another chapter, I feel that is most important. As I keep saying, because the fourth chapter has got very special slokas. We have seen few of them last time, and that was sloka numbers 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. I think almost 10 slokas we have seen. So today we will take from the rest of the slokas, looking at based on the importance or probably what I have marked in my book, which I think probably is important. That is what we will take. Get to the main course of action. Let us take 24th sloka. Those who are on Bhagavad Gita, I am sure 24th sloka. Most important. Today, just before this, I had a program talking to teachers on an international platform. I was mentioning we have got Brahma as the god of creativity, and Brahma's wife is supposed to be Saraswati. Saraswati is the goddess of education. What a great combination is this. Education always has to go with creativity. God is not the god of creation. Brahma is the god of creativity. If creativity is not there, education will not stay with you. That means if you don't have Brahma inside you, the creativity is not inside you, then Saraswati will go. Your education will move away from you. So educated person has to be creative. So both creativity and education goes hand in hand. Brahma and Saraswati goes hand in hand. So why are you eating? Is it for physical? Because this chapter is on Jnana, Karma, Sannyasa. Karma doesn't mean physical action. It also means your thought process. Being creative is also a karma. Today's world, the most important topic of today's world in computer science, management, data analysis is design thinking. How do you think entirely different? Just now, before this Bhagavad Gita session, I have been asked to become as an advisor for one of the aerodynamics design company from Nagpur. I am sure that is also through my contacts through these Bhagavad Gita classes. One of the participants her son is with a company. Designing is more important. Starting from a small floppy to a door, how do you put the door hatches, the handle? That also require a lot of design. Otherwise, a small misdesign can create a lot of inconvenience. So creativity is more important in this world. So why are you eating? Is it for physical strength? The answer is no. In this chapter, it explains you are eating to be creative. So what should come inside you? The creativity should come inside you. How can you be more creative? Only when you can imagine a small seed can become the biggest tree. The people seed, if you look at it, it's a small seed. Mango tree, the seed is very small, but that brings out lot of different things around. So what is life? Life is a small person can do lot of things if you have creativity inside you. So the eating is considered as a process which gives you creativity. Therefore, the food has to be that gives you that energy to be creative. That is why grains are being eaten. People prefer to have grains because when you eat grain, automatically the grain will start growing inside you so that you get bigger and bigger in your life. So the sloka, 24th sloka, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagnau Brahmanahudam Brahmaiva Tena Gandhavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina Brahmarpanam. I am putting the havis. Havis means what you put inside fire for yaga, yatna is called havis. That can be ghee, that can be rice, that can be coconut, that can be any of the drivyam items which you put inside fire. Where is our fireplace? Our tummy is our fireplace. What happens? Dahanam happens there. Dahanam means firing happens. That is why when you feel hungry, what we say? My stomach is burning. My tummy is burning. Because that's the fireplace. So immediately what we should do? At least pour some water. So that the fire will stop. The best thing is to give solid food. And that solid food is not just dumped like dead bodies. If you put dead bodies in fire, that is called a smeshan. Suppose you put lot of dead bodies in your tummy and your dish is full of dead bodies. That can be fish dead body or mutton dead body or chicken dead body. We call all of them as dead bodies. It can be human dead body also. I keep saying those people who eat dead bodies, they should eat the best dead body in the world. And the best dead body is the dead body of the best animal in the world. And the best animal, if you think a human being, the best meat which you have to eat is human meat only. Don't take it as negative. Because I have seen people in Fiji, they are honeybees. They eat human being. And they are so gigantic, Probably because they are eating so much. I can share you the picture. If you look at 3 times of my size is one normal person there. Probably their parents would have been eating a lot of human meat. Right? So don't put your tummy as a graveyard. I keep saying if some non-vegetarian, I was also once upon a time, mobile graveyard. My tummy was a mobile graveyard. Put all the dead body and then fire it. Right? Brahmarpanam. If you consider that as a sanctified process of creating creativity inside you, the food what you should give is something which has got energy, which produces a lot of energy inside you, so that you become highly creative tomorrow. Brahmarpanam, Brahma Havis. The Havir is Havis. That item putting inside you is called the Brahma Karma. Brahma Karma Samadhina. Consider that as a Brahma Karma. Brahmarpanam, Brahma Havir. Havir means Havis, that item. Brahmagnau. That is a Brahma Agni. Brahmanahutam. Oh, it burns inside. Brahmaiva Tena Gandhavyam. Consider that as a karma which is being done with a lot of samadhina. What is samadhi? Samadhi is that meditation. So your eating is a process of meditation. So this itself says meditation is not closing your eyes and going away into the caves and then sitting there closed eyes. No, open your eyes and eat. But how should you eat? Eat meditatively. So eating itself can be a meditation. So that is why I don't think any of the so-called gurus today teaching meditation never read this sloka this carefully. Because they can be close your eyes and meditate. No, open your eyes and eat. That is also meditation. That is called a meditation in action. And how to cook? Cook meditatively. How to cultivate? Cultivate meditatively. Every action you do has to be meditation. So, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahudam, Brahmaiva Tena Gandhavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. That is a samadhi process. Meditatively you should eat. It's a beautiful sloka. So, everyone should learn this. While eating, what you should do is keep your food in front of you, look at it. As soon as the food comes, don't eat. Many people say, see the food and eat. That's why they are all seafood eaters. Immediately seeing, they will eat. No, you should stay, look at the food, and then look at when your saliva will come in your tongue, and then drink that saliva. So your food pipe, all that will get nicely lubricated. Saliva is the best lubrication oil. So let it go inside your tummy. Then take a little bit of water. That's called ajaman. You take some little bit of water and drink. You can see some purohits do that. But you can also do that. You can also become purohit like that. And then what you should do, take one bit of rice and then put it. Tell your tummy, this is the stuff which I am going to put inside you. So that your whole pipe, food pipe will get ready. Oh, this is what is going to be put. Let me get ready. Inform what are you going to do. That's what is happening. So while putting inside one bit by one bit by one bit, either mentally you chant, or if you want in a satsang when a lot of people are there, this is part. You can see Dr. TPS, Jnanam camp, one of my senior most teacher, Keshavan Master, he was there, and then he was making all of us to chant this once upon a time. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahudam, Brahmaiva tena gandhavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. Let my eating process be a Brahma karma. This is a practical Bhagavad Gita sloka. Probably many people must be using in this world, and most of the ashrams they keep doing it. So that is why I thought this can be one of the strongest slokas from this chapter. Otherwise I could have finished last time, but I thought let us take some more time to understand this. Now let us go to 33rd sloka. This talks about Jnanam only. So importance of Jnana is being given in many slokas. 33 to 42. 33 to 42. I'll repeat. 4th chapter, Jnana, Karma, Sannyasa, Yoga. 33 to 42. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. These 10 slokas. Very beautifully explaining how important is knowledge. So each of the slokas are important. But we will skip some of them in between. 33rd sloka. Sreyan Drivya Mayat Yatnat. Sreyan Drivya Mayat Yatnat. Nana Yatnaha Parandapa. Nana Yatnaha Parandapa. Sarvam Karma Khilam Partha. Nane Parisamapyate. Nane Parisamapyate. Sreyan Drivya Mayat Yatnat. Best is the Drivyam, the item, the material items, as Yatna. Do that as Yatna, as a sacrifice. The superior most Yatna, knowledge, material sacrifice. Which is greater? Knowledge is greater. That's what here he says. When you compare Drivyam, items with knowledge, which is greater? Knowledge is greater. Jnana Yatnaha Parandava. Now what you do? That Jnanam itself becomes a Yatnam. Generally material is what you will put. Now what are we doing? Jnana Yatnam. What am I putting into this havis? In this satsang, the G-meat, what is that I am offering? I am offering knowledge. So this is also one Yatna, in which knowledge is what is given, and we are all enjoying it. So this is called Jnana Yatna. That is why people keep writing Gita Jnana Yatnam. Where is the reference? This sloka is the reference. Education can be an Yatna. We have only heard about cycle Yatna and all that, right? We can also have a knowledge Yatna. Sarvam Karma Akhilam Partha. Every activity which you do can be considered as karma. So teaching is also a karma, not a physical. Emotional, mental, spiritual, social, everything is activity. Nane parisamapyate. Everything ends ultimately the highest effective result of every karma which you do will become jnana. Even if you do a physical yajna, ultimately that is a skill development. That skill development, when you share, somebody else will get benefit. So only when you share, people can grow in that path. So what is the ultimate yajna in this world? Jnana yajna. Sreyan drivya mayat yajnat. Drivyam, putting into fire, is a great yajna. But jnana yajna parandava. Sarvam karma khilam partha. Jnane parisamapyate. Every karma in this world as a yajna end with knowledge. Therefore, knowledge is the ultimate. That is what it says. Now in karma, which is the better one? Karma is the better one. What karma? Which leads to knowledge. This is what is going to be talked in many of the next chapters. It will come in 4th chapter. Now this 33rd sloka. It came earlier in 3rd chapter, 35th sloka. How to do that karma? When you do it, Sreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. That sloka. You must do your job. If you don't know how to teach, don't get into that. Then it is not a yajna karma. That cannot be a spiritual surrendering to Bhagavan and then giving what you have. It should be done as a spiritual activity with a lot of dhyanam inside that, shraddha inside that. That is most essential. That is what Bhagavan says. Now again 18th chapter it will come. 18th chapter you will see in 47th sloka. Okay, so we will take it up when it comes in the next one. 34th sloka, that's also important. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshandi te jnanam jnanina jnani nas tattva darshinaha jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Learn what is the exact truth which is close to what knowledge which you can get from a spiritual master by sitting beside him. Learn that knowledge that is close to truth, or that is the truth. Learn the truth from whom? The spiritual master. How? Keep on asking questions. Enquire. Upadekshandi te jnanam. Upadekshandi. Sit beside him and get that knowledge. How should you get it? Pariprasnena sevaya. You can ask a lot of enquiries, questions. Don't question him. Ask questions. Get some knowledge. For getting knowledge, you ask some questions. And from the master, you can learn. Then how can you learn? You can serve him and then learn. If you are not able to ask questions, take him to some people who can ask questions. And then listen. Oh, this is how I should ask questions. Dharmaji is sitting here. When we were driving in America, he used to have a lot of questions. I enjoy because a lot of questions, all the discussions. You can all see what we discussed, myself and Dharma, during the travel in America. That's called a dialogue on drive. Dr. TPS, dialogue on drive. You will know a lot of discussions. How could? Because a lot of questions. The whole Bhagavad Gita, who made? Not Krishna. It is made by Arjuna. Because Arjuna asked a question, Bhagavan gave answer. Otherwise, it's a boring lecture. Because 85 questions, good enough. Bhagavan could give another 500 odd answers. So all of them put together became 700 slokas. That's good enough. Some questions are required. So when you ask one question may be one line, but answer can be paragraphs based on the time. So Bhagavan gave a lot of answers based on one question from Arjuna. Tadvidhi pranipatena. Try to learn the truth sitting beside the spiritual master. Pariprasnena sevaya. Asking lot of questions. How should you ask? Sit beside him and don't shout at him. With all the polite humbleness you ask questions. Upadekshandi te jnanam. then what you can import inside you, what you can get inside you is what is knowledge. And what he gives you is knowledge. Jnani, he is an enlightened person. Nas tattvadarshinaha. And he has to be a person who understands tattvam. Tattvam is the greatest concept he must be able to understand. That is what is tattvadarshi, philosophy. Tattvadarshi is philosopher. And that is why Darshana Shastra. Philosophy is also called Darshana Shastra. And who is the greatest master of philosophy? Bhagavan Krishna. That is why he says Sudarshanam. What is the weapon of Dr. Krishnan? His PhD is in Darshana Shastra, philosophy. He is a doctor of philosophy. And his weapon is Sudarshanam. Good darshanam. That is what is he giving. So he says, not necessarily to come to me. Krishna says, you can go to any guru who understands this Tattva Darshanam and then talk to them and then get it. Not through WhatsApp and not through the messages which is getting. Mukhadav. Mukhadav means looking at face to face, not hiding behind the camera. You must open the camera and then see the face so that, the reflections are seen. That is very, very essential. That is how learning has to be. Sitting beside means what? When you sit beside, you turn the face and then show your back. That is good enough. Do you respect anybody while showing not the face? You have to show the face. That is the respect. Correct? That is what is being told. Upadekshandite jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Okay, we can take this sloka is enough. Now let us skip few of them. Not necessarily they are not, I am not saying they are not important. Yeah, they are also important, but we cannot do every sloka. Go to 38. That's a beautiful sloka. 38. What is that which leads to knowledge? Where is knowledge? Is the knowledge in your head or knowledge is in your heart? The answer is given here. Nehi jnanena sadrisham. Nehi jnanena sadrisham. There is nothing which is like knowledge. Nehi jnanena sadrisham. Nothing is like knowledge. That means what? Knowledge is the ultimate. On what? Pavitram iha vidyate. Which is the most purest. Iha means in this world. Pavitram iha vidyate. Which is existing in this world. Which is the most greatest, purest of the purest. The answer is knowledge. Nehi jnanena sadrisham. There is nothing which is equal to knowledge. Pavitramiha vidyate. As pure as knowledge. Tal swayam. That oneself. Yoga samsiddha. How do you get it? I can only use some words, some English words, some Sanskritam which can be translated into English. But does that become knowledge in the air? No. That becomes knowledge inside the heart of the listener only when they process it. So where is the knowledge created? Not in between me and you. It is created inside you. So this is only a tool. And that, what is giving light? When you have a wick, when you have a cotton which is dipped in the oil, you are burning it. What is burning? Oil is burning. But you need a medium which is a cotton, which is a thread, which has to suck oil. So the medium is my instruction. Probably medium is what I am giving to you. But I am not burning. What is burning? Inside each one of you, something is burning, and that becomes knowledge. What a great way of explaining it. This is how you should enjoy. So what is knowledge? You are enjoying. Each one of you will enjoy differently. It is the same Dr. TPS who is telling. But each one of you are burning it in your style. Therefore, each one of you get your own light inside you. If you don't listen and you just become a spectator, you are not burning inside, smoke will come. It's not my problem. It's your problem. So, a teacher teaches each student, 40 children are there. How do you make the students to understand? I have a book on adaptive learning. Adaptive learning. How do the children will take knowledge? 40 students are there. Each one of them will listen the same lecture. But everybody doesn't understand everything. Because each one of them have their own processor inside. What a great pedagogy system, B.Ed. Every teacher can learn this Bhagavad Gita to understand how learning happens, The pedagogies and practices, that's the title of this book, Pedagogies and Practices on E-Web Net Learning. Then Swayam, it becomes Swayam inside you, Yoga Samsiddha, and that comes inside you as purification and perfection because of the knowledge which you gain. Everybody cannot get it. Only blessed people, only few of them can get that knowledge. Kaleno, kalenatmani vindati. But don't worry if you are not getting. Kalenatmani. Keep on repeating. Course of time. Repeat it many times. And what will happen? Atmani, inside your Atma, within the heart, if at all you have a heart. If you already given to somebody, nobody can help you. Keep that heart open. Then what will happen? That vindadi, you will find some portion there. And that will be enough. Then you can light it up. So you need to open your heart. That means with a lot of devotion, you listen to this class. Krishna is asking Arjuna. That is how you get knowledge. And Krishna is not asking to knowledge, Arjuna. Krishna is asking all of us. I am also a learner. See, last time when I spoke like this in America, I did not understand this much. Every time when I am rereading, I am getting new inventions inside that. And that is what is happening. First it came, only one small bit came. But then this sloka says, Kalenatmani vindadi. Course of time you will know more and more. I am sure when I am reading next time, probably if at all I get another gift of talking to somebody else like this, I will get more invention inside that. Nahitnanena sadrasham pavitramiha vidyade tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalenatmani vindadi. Education process, how the knowledge is getting transferred from one person to another person. But then there are a lot of problems, obstacles are there. What is the obstacle? Most of the people are ignorant. Then who will get knowledge? Today morning also, there are some students here. Morning I was giving almost a 3 hours lecture. 10 o'clock to almost it went up to 10:59. Hari Govindan is also there. Good boy. Love you. Hari Govindan only asked me how to focus. Somebody asked, right? Hari Govindan, unmute and speak.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, answer is here. I told you come and attend Bhagavad Gita. You will know it in the evening. That's why Hari Govindan is here. And that answer is the next sloka. What is that Bhagavan says? How do you gain knowledge? How do you become a good student? Answer is here. Right? The answer is Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. If you have Shraddha, focus. Then you will get. That is what the answer is. And how should you get it? Knowledge, how can you focus it? That is objective and scope. Oh, you should have some question inside you. And why are you reading it? For getting the answer. Don't sit and listen without a question. If you sit and listen without a question, something will come. That becomes only data, not an answer. Suppose you have quest for knowledge, you wanted to know something, then you sit here. Every new word comes, oh, you will relate, oh, for this question, this is the answer. So keep on creating questions. That's why I told it's not Bhagavan who created Bhagavad Gita. It is the quest of Arjuna who created this, or what created this Bhagavad Gita. So what is that next sloka? 39th sloka. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Whoever has got Shraddha, he can only get knowledge. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Tatpara samyatendriyaha. What is to be done? Devoted. Tatpara. Fully devoted into what you are. Tatpara samyatendriyaha. Indriya. Your all sense organs has to be controlled. And get fully focused. Most of the people, when I am sitting and reading, my mind goes here, my mind goes there. Lot of problems. So answer is, that is your problem. What is to be done? Full concentration, looking at what is happening here. Don't think about something else. After this Bhagavad Gita session, we will have dinner. That will be there. Don't worry. Now be here. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatpara samyatendriyaha. Indriyas has to be controlled. Don't look here and there. Don't listen anything else. And some people, the other day, somebody was mentioning, I am in terrible space. I am not able to do anything. I am not able to concentrate anything. I said, we have a place, Charminar here. That's the most busiest place. I said, let us go to Charminar. And there is a Musi river. The most stinking smell. Right? Full of noise, most stinking smell. But I am talking to you on a topic which is of interest to you. Will you be attending to the other sound in the city? Will you be attending to the bad smell? Or will you attend to my class? So there can be a lot of disturbance. World is full of disturbance. You are in this world, you have disturbance. But do you want to listen to the disturbance or do you want to listen? Assume two friends are traveling in the city. Just for some time you close your eyes and then listen. You will see a lot of noise around. But then still you can communicate it to your friend. You are traveling in the train. What a noise. But still you can communicate, right? So if somebody says, lot of disturbance, I am not able to listen to you. The answer is, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Last time when we had in the chat box, there were a lot of noises. Somebody was looking at it and then getting, why are you looking at it? Yeah? Control your indriya. And soon after that, somebody telephoned and told, how can you just ignore this? Yeah, that is what Bhagavad Gita says. What is the point in talking Bhagavad Gita? And still you look at that message and say, oh, a lot of noises. Don't worry, yeah. Let them make a noise, but you are into your action. Charminar is in your hand. Don't worry. Your Shraddha has to be here. Then every disturbance will settle by itself. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatpara samyatendriyaha. Samyatendriyaha. Jnanam labdva param shantim. Once you get knowledge, shantim, peace will come to you. The supreme param shanti, the ultimate peace will come to you. What a great knowledge is this? The ultimate peace will come to you. Ajirena adi gacchati. Ajirena adi. Without delay. Charanam is movement. After some time you will. No. Now. Ajirena adi gacchati. Now itself you will get it. So what is required if you want knowledge now? Yeah, after the class I will read once again and then understand the sloka. That means now you are not listening. Every doubt which you have on education, how to learn, 4th chapter Bhagavad Gita, sloka number 33 to 42. Keep on reading it. Then you will get it. But Arjuna, immediately after this, did he get? No, he did not get. That's why Bhagavan knows it will not come. So you have to keep on practicing. That also will come. In the later chapter, Arjuna says, oh, I am not able to understand. Don't worry. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. Keep on practicing. You will get, my boy. That's what the answer is. Now 40th sloka. 4-0. Atnascha Shraddha Dhanascha. Atnascha Shraddha Dhanascha. Atnascha Shraddhadhanascha samshayatma vinashyati. How should you attend a lecture? Samshayatma vinashyati. Is it really true? Is it that what he says is correct? Is it Dr. TPS is a false man? No. How he can understand? How he can explain this? With that doubt, if you sit, if you don't have trust in your person who is teaching you, nothing can follow. So morning I was telling some of the students, oh, you like biology. Yeah, because your biology teacher is very attractive. So he is able to attract people. So what is required for a teacher? The power of attraction. It is not my word. Look at Bloom's taxonomy in teaching. 9 principles are explained by the great Bloom's principle. It says the first principle is how to grab attention. If your teacher is not able to grab attention, then the class is not good. Therefore, it is taught in all the B.Ed colleges. And therefore, you know what do? They grab attention. You know how do they do? please listen to me, please listen to me, please. They are beggars. So I keep calling teachers are beggars. So what do they beg? Please listen to me. That please listen to me also nobody is listening. Therefore, how can they listen? So I never use this word please listen to me. At least Dilip ji, when he sent a message, he will say please join. That also I cut when I copy and send it. Hey, no, please. If you want, you attend. Otherwise, go, get out of it. That's it. If you are interested, listen. Why should I say please? It is your requirement, not my requirement. Correct? One person is good enough. I can give lecture. 100 people, not a must. I don't count the numbers. But there are 10 people, good enough. Because the effort is same, it will go to more number of people. That's it. So what is essential? That you should have that mind and accept what is being told, but then you can ask question later. Atnascha sraddha dhanascha samshayatma vinashyati nayam logosti na paro. That paralogam, ihalogam, paralogam, this world and the other world. Na paro, let it not happen. Oh, after that I will do it. After this class I will learn. No, don't do that. Never like that. Nayam, not like that. Nayam, not like this, not like that. Not lokesti, that which you can understand should happen here. Na sukham samshayatmana. Na sukham, no happiness. For whom? Those people who have got samshayatma. That's why I said you should ask questions that won't question. That questioning ability is what is samshayatma. For everything you have doubt. What is the first doubt? Whether this man is qualified or not. You start looking at him with that mind, then the whole class is waste. What you should do? Look at the message and then see whether it is useful or not. That is what is essential. That's why I don't like people who are spreading a lot of messages. The other day, October 2nd, I got a beautiful message. You know what is the beautiful message? Some SADGURU. His message is there, talking about Gandhi. Immediately, I sent a message saying that don't send this fellow's message on Mahatma Gandhi. Because there is a lecture I heard saying that he says, because he thinks that he is a spiritual master, he says Mahatma Gandhi is not at all spiritual. Gandhi. The whole world recognizes Mahatma Gandhi. Because there are 8 steps in Ashtanga Yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana. In which Yama is non-violence. And Mahatma Gandhi is the one who practiced what he learned as Yama. And just because of his non-violence, Yama, he became the world's accepted spiritual man. And if somebody says Mahatma Gandhi is not spiritual, he is only a political man, you did not understand Mahatma Gandhi. If you have read, I don't know if somebody has read, if not read, I keep on saying, Gandhi's book on Gita is called Gita, My Mother. Whenever he has conflict in him, Mahatma Gandhi is called the man of conflict. Conflictology to Mahatma Gandhi is to physics to Einstein. If you want Einstein's name in physics, Mahatma Gandhi's name will come in conflictology. He was such a conflicting man because his buddhi and the manas always keeps conflicting. And how when you have a lot of problems, distress will come. You will become sad. As a small child, when you become sad, what do? You go to mother's lap and then lie down there. The other day, I was talking to one of the discussions with Isabella from Argentina, which is also posted into my YouTube. That was the last posting. She looked at my meditation teaching, which you may not see anywhere, except in Himalayan tradition, which we teach people to lie down and just feel the breath. That's the technique. You don't have to learn from paying money to any other fellows in the world. It's as simple, because mother's lap, when you sleep, you lie down, keeping your tummy down. So which I was making my students to practice in Columbus. Last week, September, it was happening in Columbus, 2019, 2 years back. Seeing that video from Argentina, Isabella asked a question. Oh, I am seeing a new method of meditation. How did you do this? Then I said, let us have a discussion and let me record it and then post it to YouTube. So that's what he did. So what is essential? You need to know that lying down is the best method of meditation. So where do we do that? In mother's lap. Therefore, you know what Mahatma Gandhi did? Mahatma Gandhi said, Bhagavad Gita is my mother. I don't think anybody would have dealt Bhagavad Gita as mother. So the best book of Mahatma Gandhi, according to me, is Gita, my mother. Bhagavad Gita is my mother. So whenever he had lot of confusion, conflict, what decision is to be taken, he will open Bhagavad Gita and read. So it's a highly political, consoling, making peace inside when you have problems. So it's a book of counseling. It's a book of distress. And that is how you should look at Bhagavad Gita. So these are all some of the parts of Bhagavad Gita in which you must understand when you have samshayam inside, nothing will come. In your mother, do you have any doubt whether your mother is pure or not? No, you totally surrender to mother. You start thinking that mother is not pure, then finished. Then you cannot find any happiness in your life, throughout your life. You will suffer. And mother is one who gives you always positive stroke. I don't think I can finish any of my classes of series of classes in which without mentioning my mother. I keep on saying this. The last time also we had a discussion, I was telling. When I did lot of mistakes in my mind, in my actions, I go and then sleep on my mother's lap. Mother will keep her hand on my head and then say, translate into English what she speaks. Mone naala nee nannavu. Tomorrow you will become good. That has got an indirect meaning that today you are not good. That's a positive sentence with a high knowledge built inside. It's like giving Ayurvedic medicine which is lot of bad taste, putting a nice sweet cover on side top of it. That is how the mother spoke. To understand that you need great spirituality inside you. And that is what the wisdom which people have to carry. And tomorrow you will become good. That indirectly means today you are not good. But that is meditation. To get to that, you need lot of. Otherwise, when you do mistake, people scold you. That doesn't solve problems. You go and sleep on your mother's lap. So which is the best meditation in the world? Sleeping on mother's lap. That's what I concluded. How did I explain it the other day again and again? Because there was somebody who asked a question. With what courage she asked this question? That was our first dialogue. Oh, listening to that, she felt, oh, this man is somebody different. Let me learn. That trust is what is required for them to listen. Otherwise, I'm sure she is much probably elder than me. Very, very senior person. So that is what is essential. You need to have trust. Suppose you have trust. Atna, Scha, Sraddha, Dhanascha. Samshayatma vinashyati. Samshayatma vinashyati. Without doubting, you must approach somebody with our questions. Nayam lokasti, lokosti, na paro, na sukham, samshayatmana. 41st sloka. Or we will skip 41st. You want to take it? Yeah, could take 2 more slokas. We will take. Yoga sanyasta karmanam. Jnana samschinna samshayam atmabandham na karmani nibandhan nandi dhananjaya. Dedicate you totally. What you should dedicate? Physically you dedicate. Do service. Help them. I remember I went to Kailas. Why? Because my Guru Brahmasri KPC Aranjan Bhattadripad just asked me, I am going to Kailash. Are you coming with me? Immediately, why did he ask? Because he has a trust in you. When you ask somebody, that means he has got trust in you. Suppose if I ask Vaishnavi sing a song, immediately song should come. If that doesn't come, she is breaking my trust. The other day it happened, that's what I'm saying. Therefore, while editing, I will remember, yeah, Vaishnavi doesn't listen to me. Got it? Immediate response. Don't add any. See, I know this much only you can deliver. He knows he is not asking me to support him throughout the journey. Immediately, that trust is what is required. Suppose you have trust and then you ask, but then don't disturb him. So I am sure my guru was not disturbing me because he knows that I will enjoy. That is what is required. You must look at the person who is to whom you are asking. Don't sing the song with sadness. You must sing and enjoy. Otherwise, that becomes a punishment. So if somebody is not enjoying, that means you should not even ask them also. That's actually a punishment. So somebody may think, I may think that asking somebody to do is a good thing. But how do I know they are not enjoying it? They may have their own constraints. So look at the constraints of those people and then only demand. That's also essential. So that is not understanding. That is possible. You have to be a high qualified guru to understand what other person thinks about it. Yoga sanyastha karmanam, that ability to understand how much dedication is required in body, mind, soul, God, everything. That together is called the yoga. Yoga sanyastha karmanam, that when you join, the action which you do becomes a yogic action. Jnana samchinna samshayam, the knowledge which dispels. Jnana samchinna samshayam, what it will do? The samshayam will be removed. Clean it will make. Like we have advertisement for cleaning solutions, right? So what is the cleaning solution for your mind to become pure and pure? Knowledge. Don't take a scrap and then start putting vim powder and cleaning your manas. It will not happen. Only knowledge can clean your manas. Atmavandam na karmani. That knowledge is not inside you, cannot create good actions. Atmavandam na karmani. That knowledge is not inside your atma. Na karmani. No karma will come. Na nibandham. That which will bind bandham and relieving that bandham. Na dibandhanti dhananjaya. Then that karma will make you as if you are doing it so coolly, like a expert driver driving a car. An expert driver driving a car will not be thinking about driving at all. So all your actions will become as smooth as the expert mother making a dosha without making a geometry box to make it round. Right? It will become as simple as that. Without thinking, you can do that. That's a beautiful sloka 41. 42nd sloka, the last one in the 4th chapter. Got it? Tasmat, therefore. When Bhagavan says tasmat, that means the chapter is going to end. Tasmat atnana sambhudam. All those people, tasmat atnana sambhudam. Those people who is a hill of ignorance. Atnana sambhudam. And it is a heap of ignorance is what? That hristham. Shifted from their heart. Hristham. From the heart. Jnanasam na atmanaha. With that knowledge, what is to be done? Nasina. Asina means like a sword cutting that. The heap of not having knowledge will be cut and then get into your Atma as the purest heart, transferred your heart into a pure heart by knowledge. Chittvainam samshayam yogam. Chittvainam. What is to be done? Surrender. That samshayam, your doubt, should surrender to whom? To the Acharya whom you are asking. Surrender with your doubt. Surrender the doubt. Give the doubt to your Guru, the Acharya. And then Atishthotishta Bharata. Therefore, what you should do? Your doubt, you have doubt whether to fight the war or not, right? Keep it in my lap. Therefore, you have no doubt. Then what will happen? All that atnana sambhudam, that heap of ignorance will go from you. Your hridayam will become so clean and your action will come out. What is the method? The sword of knowledge. You see, the knowledge is considered as a sword here. The sword, biggest sword in this world is which can cut inside your hridayam, go inside your heart, open the heart. Which can open the heart? Knowledge. Knowledge is the sword which opens your heart and then make you to learn things. Tasmat atnana sambhodam hridastham nanasina atmanaha chitvenam samshayam yogam atishthotishta bharata. Fourth chapter we have done. Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So somebody asked me the last question. Last time somebody was in the chat box, there was a question. Why are you chanting this last? It says Bhagavad Gita is Upanishad. Lot of question and answer. Upanishad means sit beside and learn. Not like a Veda. Veda is a text. Upanishad is question answer. Bhagavad Gita is question answer. That's why it is called Upanishads. It is one of the codified, gisted, symbolized, abstract synopsis of all the Upanishads. Don't say Vedas. All the Upanishads put together is, and what do you get from this? Brahma Vidyayam. How to be creative you will learn. Yoga Shastre. How to become devotional to Bhagavan you will learn. Therefore, Brahma Vidyayam, Yoga Shastre, Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade, the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Idi, the fourth chapter, Moksha Sannyasa, no, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga Samaptam. That is finished. Right? I know today we have, generally we will do it between 8 to 8:15, but today we reached almost at 8:40. That's because of the 15 minutes. Okay. So good enough. If some questions, maybe probably the next 22 minutes can be dedicated for questions and answers.
Last time you mentioned,
Yeah.
you mentioned about sleep cycles.
Yeah.
1.5 hours is one cycle.
Yeah.
So do we have any the proper concentration time in slot? I mean, the human beings can concentrate on so many hours or so many minutes.
Nothing like that. Your focus concentration depends on who is in front of you. Morning 3 hours. Ask Hari Govindan whether his eyelashes were closing in between or not. It is not that easy to hold people like Hari Govindan who is in the teenage for 3 hours continuously. Morning my session was 3 hours. It all depends on whether you are interested in that or not. How many hours you can see cricket? It depends on whether you are interested in cricket or not, right? Assume you are not interested in cricket and ask you to see there, finished, you will get tired. Assume you are a crazy driver and you start driving. Won't you enjoy? But you ask somebody who doesn't like driving, ask him to drive. 10 minutes if he drives also, he will say, oh, tired. It all depends on how much you are devoted. Your devotion matters. That is what he says. Here Bhagavan says, how can you do it meditatively? Yeah, you must have that company. You must get into that groove. That is what is essential. And if you are a spiritual man, every activity which you do, you will enjoy. That is what spirituality. Ultimate, you enjoy. What you know, you can do it with enjoyment. What you don't know, maybe you may be ignorant about it. That doesn't matter. Everything you need not know. But once you know, you enjoy it. See, if somebody asks me, why am I giving lecture? Because I cannot stop giving lectures. Why are you breathing? If I ask what you will say. Why are you drinking water? The same way. Right? I will fall sick if I don't give lectures sometimes. That's my lifeline. What to be done?
Follow-up question.
Yeah.
So does age depend on that? I mean, brahmachari, young adult, or maybe middle age, or
Never. Brahmacharyam is you are focused on some activity. I am a brahmachari of eating. First thing when some guest comes to your house, you will ask, what was the breakfast? And after some time, what is the lunch? You can see a lot of people. That means they are brahmacharis of food. Now you see a lot of youngsters when they meet, what do they ask? Which match is going on now? That means they are brahmacharis of sports. If somebody is asking which movie is running in the city now, they are brahmachari of cinema. Brahmachari means your attention concentration, where Brahmam, your creativity is running inside that.
Not related to age.
No. Everybody can be Brahmachari throughout life. That is one part of your learning process. You are always, that is why it is called a bachelor. Is there a degree BA only after 18 years to 20 years you can have a BA? Bachelor of Arts. You can be a Brahmachari in arts. Then you can be a Brahmachari in commerce. You can be a Brahmachari in technology. Jimmy Matthew was a Brahmachari in technology. I was a Brahmachari in law. But then I became a Brahmachari in science. I can keep shifting. My Brahmacharyam can be in different one. People have misinterpreted most of this and say Brahmachari means not married.
Yeah.
No, nothing like that. Brahmacharyam is you, that is why yogis are called Brahmacharis. That means they are the time for them to learn. And they get promoted to yogis. But some people throughout life they are Brahmacharis. They never get promoted. Then what do? They come out of the ashram and self-declare that they are the Swamis. And they write their own title. Sri, 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 how many times you want, you can write it themselves. But you ask him, stop him on the road and then ask him who is your guru, who gave him this. And they'll say, I got enlightened myself. Correct? These are all market strategies. You have to get somebody's gifting, that is what is called a Brahmachari. You are a Brahmachari throughout. I am a Brahmachari. I am only a learner.
How and which food can enhance concentration?
Anything which grows bigger. Anything which a seed can produce 100 other seeds inside his, when it is growing, that is the most. You can see rice, wheat, all the grains. Once one grain is growing, how many such grains it will produce? That many creativity you can have. All such grains are good. But if you are plowing something, putting something, only one fruit will come out of it, that is not that energetic. And which is not growing huge. Don't think that there are a lot of seeds, when you plant it grows huge. No, it doesn't. Don't think about genetically modified food. That's a different category. We are talking about natural, organic, traditional food.
Yeah. We have only genetically modified food.
Yeah.
And organic, we need to pay.
That is why you look so beautiful, but the taste is not there. Your life is also like that. It looks so fantastic, but you start thinking, why am I not enjoying? It's like a beautiful tomato, and no bees, no rat, no other animals, no flies, not even kingdom. The worm also will not go inside to eat because it knows it is useless. And what we will do? We will cut and eat that. But it doesn't have sour, which if you make a chutney out of it, no taste at all. The sour is not there, the imli taste is not there, the sweet is not. Otherwise, earlier I used to cut the tomato and then put some sugar inside and then eat. Very hard to get such. It has only flesh. Like you can see some beautiful girls, but the taste is not there in them. Right? They don't enjoy themselves. Bulky.
One simple exercise.
Yeah.
One simple exercise to enhance concentration.
Interest. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. How do you find interest? Talk to somebody who will give you that interest. Morning I was telling Hari Govind's class, I don't know how many others are there, only I am seeing his video, that's why I am quoting him every now and then. I told if anybody doesn't like mathematics, come to me and sit with me half an hour. I will see that he loves mathematics from that time. You hate geography, come to me. Sit half an hour, I will make you to love geography. I cannot tell you come to me and I will make you to love cricket, which I don't know.
Yeah.
I know how to make it loving. That's it.
So multiple things. So yeah, got it clear. Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, sir. Dr. TPS.
Yes, Dr. TPS. Myself, Soumitra Chakravarti from Bengal.
Yeah.
Sir, in case of
Again,
surrender,
sir. Yeah, again, sir. Because you are from Tagore's place. Tagore accepted, sir. I am Mahatma Gandhi's lover. Mahatma Gandhi rejected.
yeah, I am working on Gandhi.
Yeah, then you should never. Then you should call all your enemies as sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. My question is related to surrender.
Yeah.
How much surrender is important to form and formless? I mean, akara and nirakara. Because when Arjun surrendered to Krishna,
Yeah.
at that time Arjun thought Krishna is Shakara.
Yeah.
But at the time of Vishwarupa Darshana,
Mm.
at that time, Krishna was Nirakara.
Yeah.
Because there was no start and end.
Yeah.
So, my point is that in case of surrender,
Mm.
Sakara and Nirakara,
Mm.
I mean, two concepts is how important. I mean, in Hindu mythology and Hindu culture also we are...
Understood. Your question I understood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How do you teach an LKG student how big is an elephant? You have to put a picture. You cannot bring an elephant to the class. You show the picture of an elephant. You also put the picture of a rat. Or put picture of an ant. Compare and say elephant is like this. What are you doing? You are actually making a bimbam. Bimbam means a representative. And I am giving an akaram. This is how an elephant is. Is it how an elephant is? All elephants are not like that. But tomorrow when he see almost like this picture, he will say, oh, this is an elephant. So the Bimba Sankalpa is to give knowledge. Sometimes it is not enough. You will have to see the real elephant. Here the multimedia is required. Then animation, simulation, then see the real life. So Bhagavad Gita gives a lot of lecture is good enough. Oh, this is a great man. That is not satisfied. Then I will show you how I am. He also says, for me, war is not a problem. You need not fight. I can just finish off all these people. But I am not supposed to do my karma. But then Arjuna is not able to understand. I never heard somebody saying, I can do it, I don't want to do it. This is unacceptable. No. Got it? So what is to be done? Show him. You know, Mahabharata has won the election or not? Mahabharata got through the election?
Mamata won a huge landslide.
Yeah. So until she was winning, she will surrender herself to the people. Now once she has become powerful, people will surrender to her. This is called Ishitvam ja Vashitvam ja Prapti Prakashyameva. When Vivekananda went to Ramakrishna, surrendered totally. Who is great? Ramakrishna is great. But when he went to America, what he did? He made everybody to surrender to him. So surrender is totally relative. Got it? The priest in the temple will go and surrender in front of the Bhagavan. And do all the offering, puja, namaskaram, everything he does. But then he comes out, every devotee will fall on his feet. And he will give Ashirvada. He becomes only. So these are all related. Where are you? When are you? In front of whom? Where? What? The police fellow in the city becomes a police fellow. He will show all his powers. When he go back to his house, what will happen? His wife will show what powerful she is. Understood? So it's all relative. Life is relative. Got it?
Is there any connection between surrender and afraidness?
No. Actually, surrender is total surrender. There is no feeling at all. There is nothing called a fear. We have mistaken lot of words in Sanskrit which is converted into bhakti and bhayam. Surrender is with the bhakti. Okay, bhayam is because of dependency. I depend on somebody else. I depend on my boss. Therefore, what I will do, whatever scolding he does, I will say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have to do this as sir there. Because otherwise, my confidential report will go, my promotion will be bad. Got it? But then if my boss is very good, what do? I will just surrender to him. I will do everything to him. I will do upasana to him. I will do service to him. I will talk about him at different places. I don't care what he thinks about me. I am surrendering to him totally. So surrender is without a benefit. Fear is you are expecting something, therefore you are fearful. That is actually a negative of surrender, but most of the people see this. Oh, bhakti and bhayam. He surrendered to me. Who? The thief surrendered to a police. That English word is what is confusing. Don't convert to that. That surrender is English surrender. His is called samarpanam. Don't use the word surrender. Samarpanam. I am fully surrendering to you. But don't, we have no other word in English. So when I say I am surrendering to you, but the bhava is samarpanam. Dedication. If somebody has to use it, probably dedication, devotion, being a servant. There are different methods. That dedication can be with various methods. You know what is that? That's a different class. It needs hours together to explain. Meera surrendered to Bhagavan. And maybe the mother Devaki also surrendered to Bhagavan. Bhishma surrendered to Bhagavan. Arjuna surrendered to Bhagavan. You can see different bhavas in that surrender. That's all different styles of surrender. One is motherly surrender. The other one is Bhratu surrender. Another one is as a disciple surrender. Arjuna surrendered beginning as a friend. Later after Bhagavad Gita surrendered as a student. So your brother can be a student. Your father can be a student. Everything keeps changing. Depends on how you are transforming yourself, how the other person is transforming. So Arjuna was just like a brother and a friend. Later he became a student and surrendered. For that he has to show extra power. That is why the Vishwarupam came. Until Vishwarupam he was considering only as. And what is the meaning of Arjuna? Not Riju. Riju means straight. Arjuna means not straight. Bewildering person. He is not able to stand perfect. He is always doubtful. So this chapter by chapter the calling name itself will change. The quality of Arjuna is rising, Krishna is also going higher and higher. Good enough?
Sir,
Yeah.
Guruji, Selena. Guruji.
Yeah. Chappandi.
Yeah, one question. One thing. When a guest eaten something in a host house, this guest will get some type of the character or the properties of the host. People never eat in somebody's home. They say that your property will come to me, your way of thinking come to me, your way of behavior comes to me. Is it true? Is there any link?
If somebody is very weak and he has got a samshaya drishti in you, then it will happen. If I am strong, how does it matter to me? And it also depends on, there is a great English proverb which says, welcome is the sourced meat. Bhagavan himself has eaten half what is eaten by somebody on the road. If Kuchela's food can be eaten by Krishna, why such examples are given in our mythology? You should not worry about what background he is coming from. Even a king like Krishna with full sanctified dress, that means he is a very rich man. He took the food of Kuchela, bad dressed fellow. Chela is dress. Kuchela means bad dress. Very poor man. We have got Shabari, half-eaten fruit giving to Rama. Whoever is that fellow, tell him. And then give him a shapa. You will die starving in your life. Everybody is eating somebody's food only. Are you producing your own food in your life? You depend on many people in the world. Correct or not? And in Achara, there are different methods in Achara. If somebody is an Achari who practices what his tradition says, it says in your house, in your hometown, 100% Achara. When you are going to somebody's house, it should be reduced to 75%. If you are in traveling, nothing. When you reach into other village, it can be reduced into 50%. if depends on the situation. So these are all conditions for your practice of your achara. If at all it is a belief and faith in our scriptures, this also is one of the, you have see conditions apply when you advertise, right? Small. He has not read that conditions. That's why he is sticking to that.
Professor?
Yes, I am seeing Amaravan. Yeah,
It's okay?
Nilaya, okay.
Okay, so Professor, I was thinking one thing, because I remember when I was at Swami, I think it was 1997, and there were two granddaughters of Swami at the apartment. Then I asked it to the youngest one, I think it's Lata. I asked her how to say I love you in her language. So she could not answer me. Then the oldest sister came to me and said that she was too young, and in their language there was not a possibility of not love the parents, the parents. So that was the only love she knew, because she was still a girl. She didn't know the love between when we say beautiful, because there was something that was such a wonderful, evolved language, and I could understand that how, because we cannot not love.
Yeah.
The
See,
word we were talking about.
See, English in our colloquial or maybe
I
the
remember that story. So, but then the thing was about the food thing, because some traditions before eating, like my dear aunt, she used to pray before eating. Every time before eating, we had to say a prayer, and many people they do say a prayer before eating, because it's a way of like to get that blessing inside together with the food. So because we were talking about organic and not organic, and that came out to my mind that most important than organic and not organic is the energy. We live in an energetic kind of universe, and we can send energy to that feeding, nutritious, blah, blah, blah. So that will come back into us. Whatever we put out will come back into us. But then it came to me that when you say Arjuna, Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, I'm not sure if they pray before eating or not. But maybe they don't need to pray, because they live in this divine world where prayer is already inside of them. Or everything they do is about to pray. They are the praying power. So could that be that possibility that they are so evolved, so blah blah blah, that they don't need to pray because they are already the pray?
yeah, I got it, Nilaya. See, somebody has to practice ABCD when they are in a LKG class. We will keep telling them every day you must practice. But do we do it when we become elderly people? So most of the scriptures are people who are learning. You have to make your food in front of you and then do all these rituals in the younger time. But when those rituals become part of your daily routine, they need not even do any rituals. That is because there is a saying, a Brahmin who has got a cross belt and who does puja, for him Agni means the fire. Fire is the God. Because for every place he wants a fire. Then only he will start pujas. His devotion, prayers, rituals, everything comes only when he see fire in front of him. So for him, fire is the God. But for a Swami, for a highly spiritualistic person, he doesn't require fire. Where is his God? God is inside him. For a ritualistic person, God is outside. For a real person, the God is inside. Suppose I love somebody. I don't even keep on telling I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Not required. It's understood that I love you. Got it? You keep on saying it means you have a doubt inside yourself. My guru keeps saying, you have fallen on my feet once. Are you still with that? Then don't fall second time. Because what is it saying? I am falling onto your feet means my thoughts, I am surrendering to you the path which you are taking. That's symbolic. Why are you falling in his feet every time when you see? That means you have a doubt, you have forgotten it. Got it? So you require reminders. You require reminders. For some people, for young children, you require reminders. As you grow, I am not physically growing, I am not saying. Spiritually, when you grow, you don't require such symbols. Agnir Devo Dvijatinam. For a priest, fire is the Bhagavan, fire is the God. Agnir Devo Dvijatinam. Muninam Hrididevatam. For a Rishi, Muni, Paramatma, Devatma, at the highest and highest level of spirituality, God is inside him. You don't see sannyasis going into temple and praying. If at all they are doing, they did not understood it. You may go to see the beauty, to see the rituals, to see people around. All that is fine. Visiting sometimes is fine, but not with the bhakti. For a casual social visit, he can go. Not for praying. He understands God is not there. God is here inside. Hridaya guhara madhye kevalam brahma matram. Agnir devo dvijadinam muninam hrididevatam vigraham solpa buddhinam. For those people were temple ritual, many people are there. They keep on going. Do all the nasty things in life. Go to some temple, give some money there and say, I am free because God, I gave him some portion of my earnings. That is why temples are more crowded. Not with the people who are real bhaktas. So most of the temples are useless. They have to be closed. It's waste of time. Waste of lot of rituals are wasteful. Right? For picnic it is fine. Socializing it is fine. That's a place of socializing. Agnir Devo Dvichadinam Muninam Hrididevatam Vigraham Solpa Buddhinam Sarvatra Vidhitatmanam. In every one around you, you are seeing God. That means you are the highest. Traditionally, temples were places where these are being taught. Temples are having some place for teaching, some place for eating, some place for bhakti, devotion. But today Jnanam is not there. Knowledge is not being served in temples. So understanding that is what is essential in your symbolization. Yeah. I think there is some connection problem. Thank you for that nice message which you have put in the chat. That feels wonderful, delighted, magnificent, fabulous way to come to understanding the use for words. Great, thank you. She is fast. Nilaya is a good student. Good student.
You are a good teacher.
Yeah.
Acharya ji,
Yeah, Pranam.
Professor Ravi asked you a question about eating meals with somebody or like that.
Yeah.
Even I want to get. I have heard something from my guru. That's why I just want to ask.
Not at all. It all depends on how much bhakti somebody has. See, I'll tell you, when I go to Gulf, sometime I must have had my lunch, but still somebody will say, have lunch in my house. I will go and eat there also. I must have had 3 lunch in one day. Is it because I want? I may not know who is serving me. More important is, I am able to see the heart in which they are calling me. Even if they give poison, I will tell you, I stopped my non-vegetarian, and after that I went to one student. There was nothing available other than non-veg. And you don't believe, it was from Bangalore, nearly 80 kilometers away, which I have to travel in a lorry, then a bullock cart, then go by walk. And I have to bend my head inside, and it was a small hut. And they gave me rice and chicken. It was not cooked properly. Seeing itself, I am feeling vomiting. It was so bloody red in color. I asked him, give me little curd, dahi, 1 mirchi, little salt, I can eat this rice. I was really feeling hungry. Can you imagine in that house? No curd, no mirchi, no salt, nothing in that house. Whatever they had put everything inside to make that sabji. You tell me, should I become very strong in my rituals and say that I don't take a non-veg, or to, if I do that, I may be happy internally, but I'm sure he will cry. So I surrendered all my rituals and said, I will eat inside you. I left all because nothing wrong. That is what I must see how devotionally he does it, and then I should surrender. I don't know, some connection problem from my side probably. It's fluctuating. I'm also seeing my screen is playing because of bad internet.
Eating at somebody's place, veg, non-veg, doesn't matter. But the intention of the person who is serving.
That is what I'm saying. Welcome is the source to meet. I told you there, na? How they are serving, that is more important. That is itself. It doesn't matter what do they give. But then, yeah, you have a minimum cleanliness which you adhere. You have to serve, right? I had got a lot of experience because I've traveled. I eat in many places. I went and met many people at different parts of the world. Horrible experience are there. Beautiful experience are also there. Right. There are places from where I have ran away. Lunch was ready. Everything was ready. Plate was ready. But then I couldn't stay there for a moment. I was just praying, God, give me some reason to run away from this house. God has given me a reason. I ran away from that place. Not because food was not tasty. The way they served was horrible. No, I couldn't stay there. Anu knows this. Anu is here. She knows the situation. So I think there is some internet problem also from my side, because I am not seeing anybody on video. Good enough, or you have any more questions? Vaishnavi had some questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've done something which made a person lose trust in us, and how do we gain that?
It doesn't matter. You keep doing what you want. The trust will come back to you. See, you feel that somebody lost trust is the first mistake you are doing. Suppose you don't know that somebody lost your faith in you. What do? You keep serving him. He keep doing. You become normal, right? But then what will happen? It will make him to think, yeah, I made a wrong statement, I started thinking. There are a lot of people. See, I'll tell you today, Hari Govind is here, I can openly tell. If you re-look at what I spoke in the morning, that gives a lot of explanation. I was with the person working with, and I gave continuous lectures. All of a sudden, he stopped calling me for lectures. I know who was the reason, what happened, what went wrong. But my dealings, I never changed even a bit of it. It took 7 years sometime for people to come back to you. There are a lot of people who don't like you sometime, they come back to you after some time. My life I have seen. But some people cannot. Yeah, they disturb you. They're disturbed because of misunderstanding. No, let them come back. They will understand after some time. In my life, many people hate me, but they all come back to me after some time. I never had anybody who did not come back to me after some time. The fighting happens only when your expectation becomes, assume Vaishnavi expects a lot of things from me. I am not delivering it. Probably Vaishnavi feel I am not trusting you, I am not doing good, right? But then I am sure you will understand once upon a time after that. The maturity keeps changing. You will understand, oh, this is what the mistake I did. I should not have done it. Let me go back and correct it. That will happen. So why do you worry? Why do you go behind somebody? Let him be any XYZ guru. You don't have to. Your father and mother, there are only two people whom you have to be with them. Your brothers, siblings, cousin brothers, friends, students, teachers, there are plenty of them in this world. Why do you want to be a beggar going behind somebody? Correct. You keep doing with the different people and then keep progressing yourself. Then people realize they will come back to you. So that is what the Bhagavad Gita says. Don't become bondaged with somebody. Your attachment need not to go. I am attached to somebody, but I am not bounded to somebody. Got it? I will put in the Facebook saying that there is a program, whoever is interested can come. But 3 times if Vaishnavi come, 4th time, why did not come? I will send a message. You still don't respond to that, ignore it, no problem. How does it matter to me? You can imagine a student who must have become nothing in their life, but I pulled them up and then today they are something. 2 minutes to talk, they don't have time for me. But still, I will say, don't worry. I know your problem, because for them, examination is something which is burning inside them. No. Once the exam is over, they will think, yeah, I should have gone. It was not that a great thing, no? Because their brain is fully packed. That's why they are feeling like that. That is because you got depressed. You have to have stress, but you should not distress yourself. The distress is what is the problem. It is not trust problem. Many people mistake this word trust. How do you know whether somebody is truthful or not? You don't know. Because truth cannot be seen. What you can see is only facts. Got it? So sometimes what happens, some people wanted to talk to me. I said, not today, tomorrow you talk. Because I will give one more day for them to think. Otherwise, today with all the spirit when they speak, it becomes bombarding sometimes. I said, keep, I'm too busy today. Tomorrow you can speak. That means I am giving time for them to become cool. One more day they will think about this fellow. It also shows that I am not that eager to speak to you. No. See, they must be thinking I am waiting for their call. Let them not think that I am dependent on them. It all some small tricks which you play. So don't worry. Life is full of relationships. But that relationship is never becomes a bondage. If you get bond with somebody else and without them nothing happens, that means you are actually a slave. Your knowledge is to be improved higher and higher. With all these lectures, what Krishna is telling Arjuna, you do what you like to do. Don't be behind me. You have to be independent. You have to be free. So what is Bhagavad Gita's message? You have to be free and independent. Every teacher, assume that I am teaching somebody cycling or maybe driving or swimming. Do you think the teacher want always behind them to depend on them and lead them to do? Parents also should not make them, the children, to be dependent. As you grow, go out. Don't depend on me from tomorrow onwards. You are free. That should be the mode. They keep on telling, no. I know a lot of parents will call and tell that, no, I am never controlling my daughter, but I tell her this is what you should do. Said, what are you doing now? Never control them to do, but I will tell them what you should do, right? You are drawing a line and saying don't go out of that, but you will still full freedom. Where within the round that there is a freedom given. That's a problem. So feel free. Nobody depends on anybody else in this world. You are enjoying, therefore you are doing. And you are taking suggestions from different people. Why? Because you want to find somebody who will suggest you that what you want in your life. And when somebody says, you will feel, oh, this is my person, your frequency is good. May not be. Sometimes they are cheating you by saying, yeah, you are right, really right. And there are a lot of people who will put a lot of oil inside your fire so that you will burn larger and larger. Don't depend on such people. If somebody criticizes you, take it. Because they are not gaining anything out of criticism, right? Got it? Every teacher is eligible to give a negative stroke. Don't say, oh, he is a highly negative person, he is always finding fault. No. Only I consider somebody as my student, I will find the fault with them. But then I am not as matured as my mother. So I am not learned that trick of telling positive things. So I have to learn. But Dr. TP has changed a lot. There are people who have seen me 10 years back and today. They will vouch for that. Correct, Anu? Yeah, I changed a lot. There are people who follow me thoroughly. They know I have changed a lot. So you become matured, you keep changing. So it makes difference in you. Yeah, that's it. Suchita heard yesterday our teacher from Dubai during the music session, she was telling, right? Dr. TPS looks more energetic, more beautiful and all that. Because she has seen me 20 years back.
And sir has got it.
Yeah.
Because she appreciated it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So 20 years. You can imagine 20 years back, I was only during my 30s. I went to those places to give lectures and she was hosting me for dinner. So that time, she must be around my age. Now she must be, now retired nearly 10 years back. So she must be around 10 years, 15 years elder than me. So such people are still with me, no? That itself vouch, oh, yeah, still they follow.
Acharya, one more question.
Yeah.
When you talk about Sharanagati or surrender or Samarpan, whatever.
Yeah. Sharanagati is the right word.
Should-
Suchita said it.
Ah,
Sharanagati is the right word.
Whom should you surrender becomes a question for everybody.
Yeah, depends on what for.
And sometimes you surrender to somebody who is wrong.
Yeah, depends on what for.
Later you're,
Yeah,
I'm
what
going to
for?
find out that.
Assume that I want to learn mathematics. There is no point in finding a pujari and then surrendering to him. I have to find who knows mathematics, right? So how do I find? I look at his credentials. How many publications he has. I want to learn cricket. Can I go to mathematics professor and ask him to teach me cricket? No. I have to know how good he was in batting. Correct? So it all depends. Every student must keep on asking questions and then check whether this man is genuine or not. Second one, just now I mentioned the teacher from Dubai. Such people are credential people where you can take a cross reference. So what do I do when a new student comes? I will connect immediately to them. You can see all my WhatsApp group. There are common people who are practiced with me for last 10 years. You can check. If I don't expose and mix them together, that means I am playing false. No, I don't do that. I connect most of the people, no? Why am I connecting? You check with them. How reliable this person is, whether this person has got knowledge in that. You can always connect. Nothing wrong. So don't take somebody who must have dead and gone on 5th century just because he wrote a book during that time. Don't follow him and then say whatever he said was correct. That is not Indian tradition. Indian tradition says Guru Parambara. Asmat Acharya Paryantam. The present person who is teaching you is your Acharya. But he should have that courage to say who is his teacher, who is his teacher, who is his teacher, which Parambara he belongs to. I learned my Vedic rituals, all that from Brahmasri KPC Anjan Bhattacharya. I am sure he cannot teach me meditation, Samadhi. So what did I do? I went to Himalayan tradition to learn my Samadhi. I am sure both of them cannot teach me Yogasana because they don't do this magic circus. The monkeys program is not there with them. So what did I do? I went to some other monkey to learn that monkeys program also. Got it? I cannot ask them teach me how to cook because they don't know cooking. So what do? I go to YouTube and then look at YouTube is my guru. www guru. Right? So you have got different gurus for different people. Nothing wrong. But you learn from different people. That's all there. Who says that only one university degree you can have? You can have multiple degrees from different people, right? So I am not, I never think about somebody who has to come to me, nothing like that. If you are a magnet, iron powders will come to you. If you are a magnet so powerful, smaller magnets also will come to you. And if I see some smaller, bigger magnet, I will go and attract with them also. This ability is called Manimadishta Siddhigal. So what is Sharanagati is clearly explained. Anima, Mahima, Chaiva, Lekhima, Garima, Tata, Ishittum cha, Vashittum cha, Prati Prakashyameva cha. Anima, Mahima, smaller thing and bigger thing, has got influence each other. Lekhima, Garima, weight and no weight has got a dependency. Comparative. Ishittum, Vashittum. I told you example of Ramakrishna and Vivekananda. Somebody surrendered to him, Sharanagati, full Sharanagati. But then Vivekananda gave Sharanagati to many people also. Each one of them would have come for their own purposes. Nothing wrong. Got it? So this keeps happening. And this ability is called a Manimadishta Siddhikal. Without that, when you do, you go to wrong people at wrong places. That can happen. Yeah. That is why in Bharatiya Shastram we have got government system like Indian democracy. Chief Minister is there, you can go to Chief Minister. But you think that Chief Minister will not do, go to Finance Minister, get some favor. If Finance Minister is not listening, what you do? Go to Revenue Minister, ask him to influence Finance Minister. So you go to different Devadas, different Gurus, all that is permitted. But in many other religious practices, they have to get attached and then only you will get the graveyard reserved there. Correct.
That's a problem in the world. In America, if you say you have 2 gurus,
Finished.
you are a fool.
But this thing is something like, because a guru and the teacher and the student relationship.
No, actually,
I connected.
Actually, teacher is entirely different, guru is entirely different, acharya is entirely different. It has got different structures. But if you don't understand, you will misuse these words.
Yeah, no, I was remembering you said yesterday about Mahatma Gandhi, and I thought it was wonderful because I was telling everybody here in Rio de Janeiro the story of Mahatma Gandhi and the guy who gave him the title, and then he gave back the title Guru Das to the man, the blah blah blah. So I loved that. I thought it was so smart of him. But at the same time, he says very wise wisdom, blah blah blah. Because a teacher, a real teacher, like you said, it sees the soul. It's the Guru does. Like it's like a divine love, a spiritual love relationship. So it's because in order to learn, you have to have 110% confidence. When I was a gymnast, I could only become a gymnast because I really had confidence on my coach. If they would say jump the window, I will jump the window because I wanted to be the first. I wanted to be the winner. It's like that's why you do. Why you go for sports? Why you go to a championship? You want to win, of course. That's the nature of the thing. But then I was very upset because later on I was not more a child. I grew up. I became a grown-up girl, whatever you call this thing, and then I could see that they were not doing things like I believed. For me, sports was passion, was a passionate, was something that I believed in evolution. But for them was a life, blah, blah, blah. They would make money out of me. And I was just being used. I was a puppet in their hands. And I became very upset. So I turned off I switched my life in a totally different mode. But then in life, everything is like that because I go to the bank. I need the manager to be, he says he loves me, he's very kind to me, but he needs to fulfill what his boss wants him to do. So he does a lot of bad things to me. So I'm always lost in my life because I trust people that I should not trust people, but how can you live without trusting anything?
Yeah, but what is required is you should not have any business deal with some people if you are not good in business. If you are good in business, you can have business deal. So, I am a person who doesn't know business at all. Therefore, I don't have any business deal. See, a lot of people, spirituality itself is a big business for them. They capsule it and sell it. I tell you, I am not at all good in that. There are a lot of people who wanted to make a lot of business out of me. They do this, they do that. I said, there are a lot of people doing it. Why do you want me also to do it? I am not for this, I said. Because I am rich enough for my cup of tea. But that cup of tea may be on the roadside small shops, not 5-star. So I am not a person going behind 5-star activities. I will tell you, when I went to Calcutta, I was in one of the best hotels in which one tea was costing nearly 750 rupees. But then I got a friend of mine, I asked him to have tea along with me. Then he said, let us just go out. There is 1/100th of the cost, 75 paise tea is available. That is much better than this tea, he said. So we left that and went there on the roadside and then had. So I am such a person. So I am not good in all that. I don't go behind anyone. Let them be the greatest of the greatest. I don't. If they come, I met the Prime Minister of India. I was not holding his hand. Look at my website. He was holding my hand. And he took me to his wife. I was not behind his wife. he wanted me to, he took me to his wife. Right. So that's it. We keep everybody equally in relationship. We understand, we dialogue. But if somebody shows that I am great, I don't care. That's what it is. Yeah. I think it's 9:30. We wanted to have 20 minutes, 22 minutes discussion, but it went to 59 minutes.
So,
Thank you.
so I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Dilipji.
Yeah.
Hey, Dilipji, see you tomorrow.
Thank you for that wonderful discussion.
Thank you.
Those who don't have the link for tomorrow, just check the chat box. I put it. Let me see. I'll repost it.
Yeah, you have. You did. What is in the chat box?
I put it again.
Very good.
Right. So that was a good day.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. See you tomorrow. Dilipji. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Pranams to each one of you for this kindness.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. sir.
If I made the laptop, I can access from the laptop for
Oh,
the Zoom.
okay. So it's going to be up.
Yes.
Yeah. See you.